morning out there. I am checking to make sure we're live and good with the stream. And going here. Excuse me. Okay, here. Look fine. All right. So let's get started because it's going to get busy and I got stuff to do. And so do you. All right. Record. Good morning. It's Monday. Because I've been doing this as my Monday hat, so it must be Monday. It's April Fool's Day. I'm not doing none of that, I hope. Anyway, good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Resales. My name is Ryan, and I get stuff at yard sales, garage sales, flea markets, and try to make a couple extra bucks online, typically eBay. And I've got some interesting things to talk about this morning. Did a flea market in Macon where I set up some tables to usually get rid of some excess. Moderate success, and we'll talk about that. Had some weekend eBay sales, and I think that's it. I'm going to move. Yeah, I want more of that in the background. Okay. And so we'll go over that. First off, I think we'll do the eBay sales, which were pretty decent because they also involve some eBay fines. Not eBay, some fines from Thursday, Friday. First up, I think I bought this Thursday. A Bible. This is a Living Bible. It is a paraphrase, not a translation. That's when you see something called a version, King James Version, New International Version, New American Standard Bible. That's a version. That is a translation directly from the Greek and Hebrew documentation that we have. The Living Bible is called a paraphrase. I think it actually probably took the King James. Somebody took the King James, put it in their own words to make it easier to read or something along those lines. They didn't bother going back to the Greek to pull it out of that. So this was done in the 60s or 70s. They're still printing it. It's Tyndall printing it. Clean copy. Probably printed recently, the 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. I don't know. This isn't that old. There's no print date on it. You kind of have to go by the version, and I've got no idea how to read the versions on this or the editions. But clean copy, $15. Picked it up for $2 at Goodwill. So this is about the third one I've sold in the past year. And so I know, don't pick them up if they're marked or with loosish binding. If they're a good clean copy, it doesn't matter how old it is. You're looking at $15 to $20 for this one. And big sale, book wise, Alice Chalmers, Farm Equipment, 1914-1985. I'm guessing that this is the type of thing that there's only a couple of editions or a couple of things out there that has this information. Tractor guys, maybe they're real particular about their stuff. So I know just enough about tractors to know to look the books up. And also, in general, books that are kind of like cataloging stuff built in the past. This could have said like Lamborghini's 1914 to 1985. I would have looked it up. Trains, I would have looked it up. Something that catalogs a stretch on a very specific product is worth looking up. Because one, there's probably not that many things like that written. So there's only a handful of books. I can think of another very specific. There's a G.I. Joe book kind of like this that chronicles like the 1982 through the early 90s G.I. Joe action figures. There's 2 of those books out there, and they were only have very limited print run, and they're very expensive. So this is kind of the same line. It's, nobody else wrote a book about Alice Chalmers' books. Alice Chalmers, 1914, 1985, and it probably only has a couple of print runs. So stuff like this, collectors are out there. I have one other Alice Chalmers book that I think it's going to go in the 20s. So that covers a sort of different genre. So worth picking up. That was $50. Did I sell $50? Yeah, that was $50 sale. Next, where you go? You're not it. There you are. The Log of a Cowboy, Riverside Bookshelf, whatever that means. It's sort of an ex-school library copy. $20 on this one. I think there's a few editions of these, and this is like the only one that sells. So look them up. But I have learned to look up young adult readers through 60s, 70s, early 80s. Because some of them, they're still out there. $20. Let's see. And it sold a hat again. Somebody bought this and said it was the wrong size and sent it back. It wasn't the wrong size, but it may have shrunk a little or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens with this next sale. But this is $22. This is a tiger stripe. I think it's Vietnam era. This is official military. It's got the official military tag thing in it. So $21. I think is what. Yeah, $21 is what this one went for. Love selling military hats. I've got a big stash of them. I haven't sold any of the stash in a while because they're really small sizes. But we'll see how those shake out. And finally, this batch went for $35. I was kind of glad to just get rid of it. It was a chance I took. I think I bought each box of these $3 or $5. What these are it's sort of equipment for, I think, backdrops for photographers. It's like gearing, and you can like to hang like maybe a green screen or backdrops or something where you can pull a chain and roll them one up and one down, that type of stuff. It's sort of gearing and equipment for that type of setup. But it's not complete, but there's like 4 boxes, and I advertise as like, look, this is just stuff, I laid it all out, took a picture, and just kind of sold it as a parts lot. So it went for $35. I think I'll make a few dollars on it. I think I was hoping to get like more than 50, and it didn't pan out. But I did get 35, and I'm happy for that, and because it's taking up room, it needs to go. Okay, that's my eBay sales, and on to flea markets. Like I said, I went out to a local flea market with my son, who's a hustler. He sleeps in for school. When I tell him we're going out to the flea market to sell stuff, he is awake. And so, and he's a little bit of a hustler. Learning how to sell stuff, learning how to talk to people. Actually, talking to people ain't his problem. And learn how to hustle, learn how to buy, learn how to deal, learn how to haggle. It's fun. It's an early morning. I had to reserve a table this time because it was busy. We got up at 6, and we were home probably about 2. A little after 2 o'clock. And that's a longer day. Sometimes we're out there at 11 because it's getting hot. Ain't nobody else coming around. But it kind of kept going. So I didn't make as much money as I wanted to. I was hoping to net 200, and I came up short of that. But I know why. And discussion time. Uncle Ryan. It's how to sell flea markets. I do very well with small items. I must have had 500 Hot Wheels. I'll buy lots of Hot Wheels at a Goodwill or a yard sale. If they're cheap, if they're less than a quarter a piece, I won't even go through them. or I'll scan through and make sure they're all Hot Wheels or or better that sort of stuff. I don't buy not that like the cheap Chinese stuff, but I'll go through them if they're clean. I'll grab them, sort through them, find the ones you can throw on eBay, which there usually are. You buy a batch of a box full of 200 Hot Wheels at in a place like that, you're gonna and you know what you're looking for. You're gonna find a couple that will go for $10 or more on eBay and are worth pulling out. And then rest, I bring them to the flea market, put them on the ground, sort them a little bit, and let the kids go to town, 50 cents a piece. And collectors will come through and they'll buy a bunch, and kids will come through, and everybody with a kid gets pulls $1 out, pick 2 cars. I make my booth rent. I've sold $100 worth of cars that way a few times. And it panned out this time. I think somebody came through, offered me $100 for the rest of the cars I had. I said yes, and that was after I had sold probably 20 bucks worth of cars. And so that was actually the biggest sale I had. I had a few tools that go between $10 to $20 range, but most of what I sold was probably under $3, and which is. It's good, but it's a problem because I walked out of there with less than $200 in my pocket, cash, after paying for my booth because I didn't have any bigger ticket items. And when you do flea markets, and you're doing like a yard sale type setup where you just back in, set your tables up, throw stuff out. You need $30 to $50 or more items that people are willing to pay for. That and you can make money to make good money and something that people can walk out with. Not like furniture. Sometimes people bring furniture and stuff out, but I don't have the room for that because I don't have a big truck. I got a Honda CRV and I can fill that up, and it's 3 tables plus the 2 plastic ones I bring. But anyway, so that's what you need to be able to bring out is stuff that people can walk out with carrying it. And I just didn't have that type of thing to bring out there to sell in that $20+ range to really rank the money up. I have before, and it's done great. But you just gotta know, and I can go out next week and probably pull in $100 off of small stuff. Actually, I don't know because I don't have Hot Wheels, and I was one of the only guys out there with. I had more Hot Wheels than anybody else, and I was one of the only guys out there with them. So that's how that works. That's how it works. At least at my local flea market, people are cheap. They are cheap out there. It's not a knock. This is a flea market. This isn't a yuppie flea market. This is a flea market with lower income people, and for lots of immigrants. Lots of guys, lots of pallet stuff. People buying pallets, bringing out there to flip it, which is actually a little bit of a complaint because some of the folks out there are charging way too much. They're trying to charge store prices, and they're not selling as well. And so, anyway, that's the flea market story. And I got stuff at the flea market that I need to look up and double check and make sure. But I have a friend of mine there she sells a lot. And she had a bunch of books, which is rare for that flea market because it's not the most literary crowd. And so, Champions RPG book. I got, and I didn't look these up. So, and I have time to roll a live look up this morning. So we'll see. A fair size batch of, I didn't see if they were all there, but Roger Zelazny paperbacks of Nine Princes in Amber. If you like older sci-fi, you'll like Nine Princes in Amber. It's good writing. So let's see. Wild Cards I'm not entirely sure. This is the George R. R. Martin Wild Cards series. The thing that he wrote, one of those things that he does because he's not writing the other series that he's known for. and I've kind of given up on them. Actually, I really soured on Song of Ice and Fire anyway. It's too dark, dreary, and too depressing. Pokemon cards. There was a guy there. He had a bunch of holos and stuff, and I looked a couple up, and I think I got a pretty decent deal. I'll have to look these up and see where they come out, particularly the holos. And nothing super old, but also it's not really a lot of stuff that wasn't really current either. A few other books. A handful of Grendel graphic novels. Yeah. And some more Bone. And I need to check if this is the earlier Bone. I may have picked something up neat, but I don't see the date on it. But I'm curious if this is not the older Bone graphic novels and not the modern ones. Which means these are probably worth a little bit more. So, anyway. Got some, I think I came out pretty good with buying stuff out there. And other than that, I think we're good. So, it's Monday. Monday hats on. Get some stuff sold. And I will see y'all next time. Oh, like, comment, subscribe.